Okay, so this is the third video for exercise 8. In video 1, we sorted the transactions out into which journal we would record them in. The second video, we recorded all the CRJ transactions, so the ones in yellow in the cash receipts journal. And this third video, we are now recording all the transactions that have been highlighted in green, cash payments journal, transactions when the business is paying money. We are going to record those into the cash payments journal. At the beginning of the exercise, they tell us that we need analysis columns for bank, wages, stationery, and material costs, and sundry. So we go have a look at our journal, cash payments journal of name of business, Ibrahim Caterers, dash, month, June, year 2020. June is a 6 month, so CPJ 6. Doc number, day, name of payee, and bank are filled in, but after that, they said we need wages, stationery, and material costs. Those are our 3 columns. So our first transaction for June is on for the cash payments journal is on day 2. Sent check 001. So we've got our check number to the City of Cape Town. What are we paying for? The annual trading license. Annual being once a year. So for this company, the trading license, it's getting paid on June. And we're paying 1,250 Rand. So our doc number is our check number 001. This is happening on day 2. Who are we paying? We are paying the City of Cape Town. How much are we paying? We're paying 1,250 Rand. And then we have to decide where trading license gets recorded. Wages is not trading license. That doesn't say trading license. That doesn't say trading license. So it's going to go to sundry accounts and we record it as trading license. We're then going to move on to our next transaction, and with the cash payments journal, nice and simple, there's only the check counterfoil as your source doc, so the numbers will all follow on in order. So whatever your first document number is, whatever the first check number they give you is, you fill it in for the first transaction. The second transaction will just follow sequentially from there. We have a look at our transactions, and on day 3, we have 2 transactions happening. The first one, we have bought a delivery van from VW Motors and paid by check 140,000. Hopefully, by this point, you know, delivery van, that is called vehicles in accounting. So, day 3, we are buying from VW Motors. We are paying 140,000 for our vehicle. None of these column headings contain vehicles, so we go to sundry and we record it as vehicles. Yeah, making sure that we spell vehicles correctly. VHICLES. Yeah, we then move on. The next check number will automatically be check 003. This is our second transaction happening on day 3. Remember that in the cash receipts journal, when we receive more than one payment on a day, we would list them separately in analysis of receipts and we deposit the total into bank. In the cash payments journal, we are paying different companies. So even though the second transaction is happening on day 3, we don't add the values together and only deposit the total amount in our bank account because we are paying money. And when we pay, if you imagine going to somewhere like the Blue Route shopping mall and you go and buy things at 3 different shops on the same day, you don't pay one person. You would pay each shop however much you owe them. So we're on the second transaction for day 3, but this is a totally separate transaction. We have sent a check to game stores. So we can fill in game stores. We now need to work out how much money we are going to pay game stores. we are buying 2 ovens, 4 electric stoves, 1 electric mixer, we are buying stationery, and we're buying packing material. Now, any kind of furniture appliance in accounting is called equipment. So we're buying a whole lot of equipment here. We're buying stationery and packing material. Once again, when you go to a shop and you buy things, you don't pay for each separate item individually. They would add it up to tell you what the total amount that you owe is. So let's first work out the total amount that we owe. So with your calculator, you are going to want to add up 2 ovens at 1,494 Rand each. So 2 times 1,494 gives us 2,988. You then do a separate calculation, and we're going to say 4 times 1,990 and on your calculator, and we get 7,960. 1 mixer at 500 is 500, stationery at 300, packing material at 800. So we're going to add each of these 5 values together to get the total amount that we're going to pay into our bank account. So with your calculator, you're going to say 2,988 Rand plus 7,960 Rand plus 500 plus 300 plus 800. And you should get 12,548 Rand. That is the total amount that we are going to be paying Game Stores. 12,548 Rand. We now need to separate it into the different things that we are purchasing. So number 1, equipment. We need to add 2,988 plus 7,960 plus 500. So appliances, furniture, these are equipment. So we need to add those 3 values together, and you should get 11,448 Rand for equipment. So we have a look, and we don't have a column for equipment, so we're going to record this under sundry accounts, 11,448 Rand as equipment. We then have a look, stationery of 300. We have a column for stationery, so we can record the 300 under stationery. Notice it's all on the same line. But now when we get to our packing material of 800 Rand, packing material doesn't have its own column, so it's going to go to sundry. I drop that amount to the next line. Packing material. And make sure that nothing else is recorded on that line. Okay, and our next check number 004 will go afterwards. Have a look. Day 5, bought materials for the use at the next catering function, 13,000 from Martin's Materials. So we've got day 5, Martin's Materials. We then have a look, 13,000. So it goes into bank because it's coming out of our bank account. So we're paying for that. And do we have a column for material costs? Yes, we do. So we make sure we're in the same line and we record the 13,000 Rand for material costs. Move on to check number 005 and we look at what's happening at the next transaction. And we're now on day 7. Drew a cash check for the following. Cash check means we're writing cash on the check. We hand it in at the bank and they give us cash in exchange. We will use that cash to pay our workers who earn a wage with cash, and the amount that we're paying for donations to the SPCA will also be paid with cash. So we go to our journal. This is happening on day 7. Cashed a check. And now we need to work out how much money we have paid. So we're going to add 4,450 plus 750 with our calculator. And you should get 5,200. So 5,200 Rand was the value on the check that we cashed. Of that, 4,450 was for wages. We have a column for wages, so it's recorded under the wages column. And 750 is for donations. So we don't have a column for donations, so it goes to sundry account, donations. And we can move to the next check number. Have a look. When is this happening? It's happening on day 15. We sent a check to Telkom for 1,375 Rand. So we're on day 15, Telkom, and it's 1,375 Rand. What are we paying for? 1,225 Rand is for the telephone account of the business. So that's telephone. We have a look. We don't have a column for telephone, so it goes to sundry. 1,225 Rand. And that is for the business telephone account. Telephone. Okay, they have spelled telephone correctly. We then have to go back and have a look and see what the other amount was for. The remainder, so 1,375 minus 1,225, that should give you 150 Rand on your calculator, is for the personal telephone account of the owner. Personal, anything to do with personal, is drawings. So there's no column for that, so we're going to have to drop to the next line. 150 is for drawings. And we make sure we don't write anything else on that line. We don't confuse transactions. Each transaction is on its own line. And we move on to the next day. Day 16. We have 2 transactions on day 16. Number 1, paid the wages, 5,500 by check. Remember, wages are paid by cash. So we would have cashed a check for wages 5,500. So we go. This is happening on day 16. Cash 5,500, and it's for wages. We have a column for wages, so we can record 5,500 under the wages column. The next transaction is also happening on day 16, but it's a different check number. We are paying somebody else. And we have a look. Bought the following from Cranier Traders and paid by check. We've got materials, stationery, and equipment. So we're going to have to add those values together. So let's just fill in. This is Cranier Traders, also on day 16. So get out our calculator, 2,500 plus 223 plus 1,200, and you should get 3,923 Rand. So that is the total that we spent, 3,923 Rand. We split it up into what we are purchasing. The first one is materials for 2,500. So we've got a column for material costs. Make sure we're on the same line. And that is 2,500. We then have stationery for 223, and we have a column for stationery. The exact same line, 223. Equipment for 1,200. We don't have a column for equipment, so it goes to sundry as equipment. Okay, next check number, and it's going to be on day 22. We sent a check to VW Motors for 1,750. That's how much we are paying to pay for repairs to the delivery vehicle. Hopefully you know there are 3 things to do with a car or a truck or lorry. If we buy a vehicle, that's vehicles. So delivery van, car, truck, bike, whatever, that's vehicles. If we pay for petrol, that is going to be recorded as fuel. And if we have repairs to that particular vehicle, that is vehicle expenses. So in this case, we've got repairs, so that's going to be vehicle expenses, 1,750. A22 VW Motors, we are paying 1,750 Rand, and for vehicle expenses, none of our columns say vehicle expenses, so we go straight to sundry. Vehicle expenses. And we're off to our last transaction, the check number 010. Have to look, what day is this happening on? This is happening on day 27. We've sent a check to the city of Cape Town for 550. So this is happening on day 27, city of Cape Town. And we are paying 550 Rand. What are we paying for? 350 is rates and taxes, 200 water and electricity. We don't have a column for rates and taxes or water and electricity, so both of these are going to be sundry accounts. Make sure we're in the same line. So 350 Rand is rates and taxes. And we drop to the following line. 200 is for water and electricity. Now it's the end of the month, so we're going to add up our columns. So we're going to draw a line above and below. So you get out your ruler. And we're going from bank to sundry. So from bank, we total to sundry, above and below. Let's make it a little bit smaller so we can fit it in. Now we're going to add. So we want to add all those values together in bank. So you get out your calculator and you're going to say 1,250 plus 140,000 plus 12,548 plus 13,000 plus 5,200 plus 1,375 plus 5,500 plus 3,923 plus 1,750 plus 550. And you should get 185,096 Rand. You then add the amount in wages, 4,450 plus 5,500 gives us 9,950. Then we add the values in stationery, 300 plus 223 gives us 523. Then we're going to add the amount in material costs. So 13,000 plus 2,500, 15,500. And then we add all the values in sundry. 1,250 plus 140,000 plus 11,448 plus 800 plus 750 plus 1,225 plus 150 plus 1,200 plus 1,750 plus 350 plus 200. and we get 159,123. We then want to check that our bank figure is correct, so we're going to add the other columns together. So we're going to say 9,950 plus 523 plus 15,500 plus 159,123, and we get 185,096. Looks good. Okay, and that's the last part of exercise 8 done.